We have four candidates here. We have Stephen Robinson representing the Liberal Democrats. We have Mark Goff from UKIP, and Rosalind, who's here on behalf of the Labour Party, and Neil Gulliver from the Conservatives. So if we'd like to go from left to right, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and any information you feel we should know. We'll answer some questions afterwards.
Yeah, I love living in Chelmsford and bringing up my family here, and we've lived here for 15 years, and prior to that in Epping Forest. I've been Chelmsford City Council the last 4 years, County Council the last 3 years. When I stood for Parliament here last time, 5 years ago, I came quite close to winning, not quite close enough obviously. You know, elections here in Chelmsford are always quite hotly contested between Conservative and Liberal Democrat. And create jobs here in Essex for people to stay working and living locally, because I think that's the commuting side is bad for environments, it requires extra investments in infrastructure, and it's particularly bad for family life. So that's key priority for me.
Brilliant. Thank you. Mark, could you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, well, probably it won't surprise you to say when I say that my name's Mark Goff. I am the UKIP parliamentary candidate for Chelmsford, and if Stephen thinks the election is between Conservatives and Lib Dems here in Chelmsford, he is very much mistaken, as I'm sure you'd expect me to say. And if anyone that thinks that it's actually the large businesses at the background, it's not. It's you guys.
Lovely. Thank you, Mark. Brilliant. Rosalind, would you like to just introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rosalind Scott. I'm here actually to represent Chris Vince, who is your Labour Party parliamentary candidate, and I myself am a Labour councillor in Colchester for Wimbledon Key Ward. UKIP, which is the right-hand side of the Conservative Party, are the party of the super rich, and we are not the super rich. And they're the party of multinational business, and we're not multinational business. We're local and we're national. So let's not buy into the myth that the Conservative Party is going to help you. They're not going to help you. They're going to help people who you don't even know.
Okay, thanks, Rosalind. I think we'll hear from Conservatives to see what Neil has to say. But thanks for that. Neil, there's been a couple of mentions for yourself moving forward. So if you'd like to tell us a little bit what you're doing and anything you want to move up from that.
Well, I've been the Cabinet Member for Planning and Economic Development in Chelmsford for the last 12 years. And it's fair to say that it's had its peaks and troughs during that time. We suffered the recession that was brought on by the Labour Party predominantly. The bigger problem with that was, more than anything else, was the lack of preparation. Because I think the one thing all of us know in business is that economies go in cycles. There will be another. That's why I'm a Conservative, is because I believe that we offer those opportunities to everybody, and you can actually see it happening now.
Lovely, thank you. What's your opinion? What's going to happen?
Stating categorically, as did Ed Miliband yesterday, that we are not going to be in a coalition with the SNP, that we are not beholden to the SNP. It's a mantra which is being repeated by both the Cons and the Dems, and it is actually just a distraction. Yeah.
I think that looking at opinion polls and looking at where we are, I mean, it clearly is something that is on the table. It's not clear cut this year.
I think you're absolutely right, Richard. What it's going to the whole look. I don't think. Well, first and foremost, if anyone's able to predict the result of next Thursday, they're infinitely better person than I am, because I certainly can't predict it. I think we've seen opinion polls all over the place. I think anyone who thinks
there's only really two options. It's either going to be a hung parliament or it's not.
I think most people.
We're discussing
the only thing people would acknowledge.
We're discussing what would your opinion be if it was? I mean, so we're using a hundred question.
Well,
but let's go back to my original question. What is your thought?
I think that what most people would agree it's likely to be a hung parliament. I don't think there's if there's any prediction at all, that's the one.
As we said it earlier, the deficit is undefeated. the national debt and borrowing is growing, growth forecasts are falling. Are any austerity plans in place, and how are they going to help local businesses? I don't see evidence of austerity plans helping local businesses. On one hand, some business rates have been taken away, but footfall with money in people's hands is not there. An economy is driven by people spending.
Thanks, Hugh. Neil, would you like to answer the question?
In this country. So I think the biggest thing that I would push for with the next government, hopefully Conservative, but irrespective of the colour, business needs infrastructure in place. It needs it in place as soon as possible.
I think the issue, the deficit and the debt, mustn't get the two confused. If the deficit, if there's still a deficit, debt will rise. And the reason it's a problem and an issue, and something which Labour really didn't get their heads around, was that we spend more in interest on servicing the debt than we spend on defence. And yes, the debt's, but yes, of course the debt's bigger, because you left us the biggest deficit in the G20. So of course the debt's gone up.
But it's twice as big now.
Because you left us this big deficit, the
And
biggest
you doubled
deficit
it.
in the 20. No, we didn't have it. Half the
Yes, you
deficit.
doubled it.
No. I started by saying you shouldn't confuse deficit and debt.
You were talking about debt, which has doubled.
Yeah, it has. Well done. You did it. Thank you very much.
Between 2010
Yeah.
and 15, the debt.
I think that's a point we're not going to agree on. So
Whether as a councillor or as your MP, I want to, and I will stand up for Chelmsford and argue that case day in, day out, for as long as you want me to be your representative.
lovely. Thank you.
I just wanted to say really